Welcome to another episode of the Albino Rhino beer review. Today we're doing another Beerumentary. It's been a long time since we've done one of these. We're here in St. Catharines. It's been a while since I've actually been in St. Catharines too, which is funny because I live right around the corner. We're here at Plan B Beer Works. They are pretty dang new. Some malt right out here if you want to get a little taste. You know what? Well, let's go in and see what's going on, shall we?
Hey!
What are you doing?
Good, yourself?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. We're going to do a little tour. Look at this nice little setup. See right behind me a mill.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, so that's the Beast of a malt mill. It does a great job and it saves a lot of arm strength on having to crank it like back in the old days when I was home brewing. As far as the brew house itself, it's pretty simple and straightforward. It's a little 100-liter, just electric brew house, control panel. It's all electric, and mash tun. Hot liquor tank, mash tun, boil kettle. 100 liters at a time, so of course it does keep me quite busy. Usually doing double or triple batches on a regular full brew day, Monday, Tuesday, and then Wednesday, Thursdays, doing just kind of double batches from the morning before I open in the afternoon at 3. Yeah, so as a one-man show, I'm down here plenty of time. I'm sure half the people around here think I just live here. See that if I'm not on this side brewing, I'm just gonna sell my house. I don't need it anymore. Yeah, so if I'm not running this side here doing the brewing, I'm over there basically running the retail space. How to start a brewery on $30,000 while you're virtually standing in it. So it's nice to have a really small overhead on startup, but of course you have to supplement the hours to make up for the difference. And if you take a look back here at the fermenter room, what was a kitchen is now running on the just the food grade inductor tanks. Jimmy rig them and modify them and put all your valves and fittings so that you can just kind of drain your tub off the bottom and do your filling on your kegs right from gravity.
Now see this right here?
Yeah.
I always find this to be when you see somebody with the love of the business, because it shows they actually have it. They have the plastic fermenters to start off, everything's just let's get this going.
Yeah.
I need to do this.
And you gotta, to be able to do reasonable growth, eventually one by one these will be getting swapped out for the stainless steels, and then it'll be jacketed like all controlled. You just gotta keep this room as cold as balls as possible so that your fermentation temperatures aren't gonna go crazy. Of course, July that we had was quite the exciting time.
Oh, I bet.
AC unit kept pooping out on me, so it was down here every night just pulling my hair out. But yeah, you got through July, and now with the weather that we have right now, it's a lot easier to control the ambient temperature, of course. So basically I got 10 300-liter inductor tanks, so I definitely have room to grow. Seeing I could be doing triple batches 5 days a week, which on such a small system could virtually be yielding 8 barrels a week. So, it's...
You could slip 2 more in, right?
Yeah, 1 or 2 down there, and, just start stacking them on top of each other. It might do the trick. Yeah. And, of course, this used to be a kitchen when it was a restaurant here before, but it kind of helps keep the walls easy to wipe down, so kind of win-win on that aspect of it. And then, of course, through here, this is where the beer actually gets really fun, because you can really start drinking it.
Yes.
So the retail space, just kind of ran it like a lounge bar, seeing that the licensing is a brewery with a retail room. So of course I'm limited to retail hours, but it doesn't mean I have to be aisles and bottles on the wall, so I can actually kind of do my retail space as I see fit. And buy the glass endorsement, so of course you can do the 12-ounce pours, tasting flights, cans to go. You get all the jazz going on, so it's...
I love the crowlers instead of growlers.
Yeah, that was kind of mulling over the 2 different options on the way to go, and the cans I always kind of found were a better medium for transporting the beer, and presentation.
Fresh longer.
Yeah, you can keep the carbonation in there, and you're not committed to 2 liters of, a specialty one-off that you'll probably enjoy less than a half of, and then it starts to overwhelm you. So the cans are kind of a no-brainer. It took me a while to actually kind of hunt down the machine, but of course bumping into Dave and Todd at Cayman Kettle, they kind of hooked me up on, call this guy, and they'll get you set up with it. So it's fantastic. And, it's always nice, and that's one of the funner parts for the industry right now is that you just kind of give a call over to another brewery and say that you're having a bit of an issue one way or another, and they're usually there to jump on board and help you out in whatever way they can.
Yeah, so pretty quick questions. The same 15 or so questions that we ask everyone.
All right.
First and foremost, what do you like the most about the industry?
Just the collaboration, the experimentation, the adventure to not only rediscover beers that haven't been made, but to kind of mend and blend styles together to create something new and fantastic. Always being a beer nut, you're always pursuing that something new that you haven't had before, so it's always kind of that adventure part of it.
Alrighty, thing you dislike the most about the industry?
Trying to be too much like the wine industry, I guess you could say. There's a level of appreciation and deconstruction, but then there's a level of kind of a bit too insane over it. It is, beer is beer, it's a fantastic.
So like the argument of beer geek versus beer snob?
Yeah, it's kind of that fine balance to be a great beer geek without becoming a snob, I guess you could say.
Alright. Favorite style of beer?
Favorite style would be my Hefeweizen.
At least it wasn't an IPA this one. Least favorite style of beer?
Least favorite style would be, that's a hard one. American Light Lager. That's pretty much guaranteed, I guess.
Alrighty, 3 beers for the rest of your life. 1 from your brewery, 1 from another craft brewery, 1 from a big guy.
Alright, Iyer, and then 1 from a local.
Any other craft brewery.
Okay, other craft brewery in the world. Arcane 16 in Quebec, and 1 from a big guy. OV.
I love Old Vienna. I have memories of Old Vienna. It was my first beer.
That was awesome.
What made you want to get into the industry?
It was a lot of just, spending about 8 years just exploring and trying to find every last little craft brewery that I could, I could hit on a weekend. It would just be drive this way, how many breweries are on the way I can stop at. And just kind of stopping in and just hanging out in the spaces that a brewery has created. And, the atmosphere was always fantastic, the beer was always exciting, and why wouldn't you want to get into the industry? So, always being a home brewer, it was always kind of poking away at the back of your head that, what if it was on the next step. And, sure enough, I ended up actually just, taking the plunge.
Alrighty. Malt Maniac, Hophead, or Yeast Beast?
Hophead.
It's sad every time somebody says that. I just want to cry a little bit.
Yeast
Just want to
Beast.
cry a little bit. Hophead. Yeast Beast. There's a couple of Yeast Beasts out there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeast is a phenomenal little aspect of it.
I don't think people realize just how much they can have of a plate.
Oh, it's insane, the amount of flavors that are actually...
Even the same yeast fermented at different temperatures.
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah. Any advice for any other brewers out there, or any other potential brewers out there?
As far as advice, just make sure your ducks are all in a row before you actually kind of jump into it. A lot of the times, deal really closely with your local and municipal government, because if anything, that's where you're going to have the biggest challenges. So when it comes to paperwork and licensing, it's pretty straightforward through the AGCO and CRA, surprisingly. Just make great beer.
Weirdest ingredient you've ever brewed with?
Weirdest ingredient ever brewed with? I have to say, like jalapenos. Other other than that, not anything extremely crazy yet.
Do you roast your peppers before you brew them yourself?
No, it was actually just kind of sliced and soaked 3 days on a smoke porter. There's actually that smoke porter there, but it's a little 5-gallon batch like this.
Nice. And lastly, if you weren't doing this, what do you think you'd be doing?
Probably what I was doing before I was doing this. Insurance. Ooh, the exciting industry of insurance. Let's talk about policy.
Well, things you didn't know about the people that make your beer.
As far as the beers themselves, well, basically I always have 2 that are up there, and the other 4 rotate out. So these here are usually just the 200-liter batches. So I'll end up with about 5, 6 30-liter kegs, depending on if I'm dry hopping the crap out of it. But and of course the blonde and the stout are always up there. Right now we're rocking a Hoff and Dunkelweiss, which is a bit of an oddball, black and white IPA, whichever way you want to say it. The barley wine, smoke porter, and the Patters beer. And the barley wine just went up actually last Friday. It's pretty delish, but it's quite dangerous too, of course, at 10%. But it keeps you warm, or at least you forget about the cold. It can numb away the cold for you anyways. Yeah.
We know that this was Plan B. What was Plan A?
Plan A was in Pelham. My family owned an old warehouse down there in the industrial zoning just down by the airport. So it was an empty space, 3,600 square feet. I could walk in and envision a nice little production brewery in there. So Plan A was initially Short Hills Brewing Company down there, and it was zoning amendments and bylaws and dealing with the town of Pelham. It just wasn't making any leeway. And the more I thought about just a production brewery and being a door-to-door salesman and fighting over tap space and everything else, it's a nightmare right now. I figured that downtown St. Catharines rocked a retail space, and I have 6 taps that are all mine. I can be greedy on them, and that became a much more viable solution and a much more faster way to get things off the ground.
And what are your thoughts on the current state of the Ontario beer industry? I know we're up to almost 200 breweries as of right now. Plan to have over 200 by the end of the year, and then another 60 next year is the plan.
Yeah, it's growing exponentially. It's great to see, knowing that the more breweries that we end up having, the more beer tourism becomes a thing. And having breweries close together, well, if one wins on tourism, they'll all win on tourism. Same idea with all the wineries in the area here too at the same time, where they're all kind of they're all succeeding off of each other while succeeding independently at the same time. And it's great to see the beer industry running along those lines. And it's the best thing ever right now is that you can just drive to any small community and you can try the local beer that's right there. And that's what it's all about, just discovering a Blondale here and a Blondale there. They're never going to be the same. Each one is its own adventure. So it's just fantastic.
And like you said, beer tourism is huge. And when you think about this area, Ridgeway is half an hour away from one place, and Palm Hills is this, and Niagara on the Lake. But when you think about it in compressed times, compressed map type of thing, we're basically Toronto, like in size with all the little areas.
The footprint,
and we're growing in breweries every day.
And as soon as we start getting a bit more organization, if we get whether it's third parties or if a collaboration between breweries on getting a little bus that can just kind of bounce around and do the tours on them. I do know that we have the Ale Trail that St. Catharines and Niagara is looking at kind of pushing forward and working on there.
And there's that new company there, the Niagara Craft Beer Tours.
Yep. So it's we're starting to see the beginning of that now, because we have enough breweries here to actually we can make a great adventure of it. And
a lot of them are very close together once you start getting to them.
Yeah, once you start hitting them, there's a couple, you got to drive down to Ridgeway, but that's a great lunch break right there. Start on Niagara on the Lake and start heading down towards Brimstone, and you can grab a bite to eat, and people might have a chance to kind of let the first tasters kind of flow through to start on the next kind of run of things. So it's really exciting, and the more the merrier. It's always fun.
now that there's more than one college doing a brewmaster's course, how do you think that's going to affect the industry?
It's affecting the industry by probably having better organization. As much as there's a lot of technical details that you need to know to brew beer properly, is that a lot of that can be self-taught. What can't necessarily be self-taught is management, entrepreneur. It's all the brewery management side of things, where like the program at Niagara College, the brewing management sector, it teaches you the business of the industry.
Yeah, where you do a proposal.
Yeah, you do your proposal, you write your business plan, and you got to run from there. Where, you know, that is a key part to taking anything to a commercial level. You can have a phenomenal hobby and you can brew spot-on beers, but if you can't keep your books, you're not going to survive anyways. So there's a lot of faucets that, you know, it's really handy knowledge to know. And then, of course, knowing the fine points of the science of making beer is always, you know, quite necessary also. And it helps put it on a map, I guess, as far as if you look at like international levels, where people are looking at, you know, where are the brewing programs, and you know, Niagara College comes up on the map. And so anything that just kind of keeps pointing to the Niagara area is bringing more and more attention in anyways.
Well, thank you very much for having us. It was a great time coming and chatting with you at Plan B Beer Works in St. Catharines on St. Paul Street. For those of you that don't know St. Paul Street, it's a nice street. There's lots of places to go for some food. Nice beer right here, nice area. Some board games over there. Play some chess.
You can grab some food and bring it in.
Ooh, you let that happen.
Oh yeah, that can happen. Yeah. Oh, thanks
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for coming out. It's been a pleasure, and have yourselves a good time and enjoy great beer.
That's good.